All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Eddy Live Show, episode number 175. I'm here with Matt Bronsil. What's up, brother? How you doing?
How's it going, man? I was hoping to make it to 200. That's why I kept trying to push this off, but then news broke today, so I had to drag me in here.
Exactly, right? Yeah. No, shoot, I was bummed that I didn't get to share a beer with you, but we can share a virtual beer, right? So
same here, yeah.
Yes, so
you can't like virtually send me wings or anything, can you?
I cannot, not yet. I'm working on that technology. So no, dude, yeah, no, like give it a couple months or so. Hopefully you can get back out to Taipei sometime, and then we'll do it right. But yeah, this is a second time you've been on the show, right?
Yeah. We actually, I think I was the first one to test out this software for you. That's the reason why we went live back when coronavirus started. We had no idea what we were going to talk about, and we were just like, let's just go. Let's just see where this leads. So it's good to be back.
It is. And the funny thing is that the software is not that difficult to use, but like at that Corona time, I was like, you know what, I don't want to stop the streak, and it's been like 175 weeks like in a row. So it's like, let's keep going. Yeah. And so I was stoked to get you over, but virtual is, we'll have to settle for virtual for now, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm all the way in Taichung. He's all the way up in Taipei. You guys don't know this. So
yes. So Taipei, and how far is that? Like 2 hours, right? Like I'm not a very good Taichung person.
Yeah. I mean, if you're taking the HSR, it's about an hour, but driving, it's like an hour and a half to Shinju. So I guess it's like 3 hours driving if you're in car.
Really? Is it that long? We actually, Chinese New Year, we just did, we went to Miaoli, which is not that far, I think, from Taichung, right? A half an hour? I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, it's the next county up. So
maybe it's halfway. I don't know. So anyway, we don't have a car because we live in Taipei, and I think we don't really need one here. But when we want to go to Miaoli, we usually get the high speed, or
right.
If it was Chinese New Year, there was no tickets. We'll just the funny thing is we'll just Uber it. We'll talk to an Uber guy. Yeah. And the funny thing is we were looking at car rentals and stuff, and everything was jacked. For Chinese New Year, the prices were just crazy. And so a friend of mine who was doing Uber, we're like, what do you think? And he's like, yeah, I'm busy, but let me send you a guy. And it was 2,500 NT one way.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. There's three of us, like door to door, literally my door to my in-laws' door, 2,500. It's like, hey, I'll take that.
We had my friend, she had her mother-in-law come, which they actually get along. So it works out for them. Yeah, interesting. But she came in and they were going to pick her up at the airport, but it was like at 5 o'clock in the morning. So they looked in every taxi was like 3,000. Well, she knew one just there, just to get there.
It's ridiculous.
She knew someone who was just like, yeah, she always got this taxi guy, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it there and back for 4,000. And like, that's perfect. We'll take
it. The best. It's nice to have somebody who kind of knows, like I have a few friends that drive Uber, and I have a few friends that just, drive like sort of as a part-time gig. And then, you message them and they're like, yeah, $2,000. And I'm like, $2,000, shoot. I remember the first time we did that, we went to Elan, and it was just like, I think it was maybe less than $2,000. I think it was less than $2,000 to Elan. I was like, well, that's great, because I mean, we don't have a car, to rent a car and to rent parking in Tianmu, forget about it, So for us, it's totally worth it, man.
Yeah, Tianmu is I tell people to like check out your place, and they're like, "Where is it?" I give them the location. I'm like, it's way far away from where I am. I'm like, yeah,
exactly.
Tianmu, still go.
So Tianmu, the cool thing about Tianmu is it's like a self-sustaining bubble. So people don't really have to come in here, and people from here don't really have to leave, which is good and bad. Good because you've got everything here. Bad is because you never leave. It's crazy. Went to Miaoli. I was like, that's the furthest I've been out for, it's been a long time.
Why Miaoli?
My wife is from Miaoli. That's the reason.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were like, you got to go see this rice field. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Miaoli. It's. I mean, there's no really small towns, I think, here, but Miaoli it feels like a small town because everything is kind of a slower pace and stuff, especially Chinese New Year. But yeah, brother, cool.
I started off in Changhua, so I talk small town. I've got you covered there.
Cool. Hey, I hope the audio is good, guys. I want to apologize for Tuesday. Usually we do the podcast on Tuesday, but it's been a crazy week. So yeah, we're back and we're doing it now. So with the streak is still alive. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. So obviously you're a big basketball guy, right? Taiwan basketball
I'm a big
league.
Basketball fan. Yeah.
So,
here in Taiwan, I love it.
So obviously the big news today is Jeremy Lin just signed with the Kaohsiung Steelers, right? So we'll talk about that a little bit.
Well, it first got teased, I think, back in October. Midnight Sport, which puts out a lot of tweets about Taiwan basketball, posted, coming soon, and a picture of Jeremy Lin, and the symbol for the Steelers, they used the S. And everyone just got really excited about it. I found out about it from one of the owners of the Dreamers. He was like, "Well, the Steelers just got Jeremy Lin." I'm like, well,
nice.
I guess you'll have to get Michael Jordan then, just to kind of even it out. But then the Steelers put out a thing, said, "Nope, it's not for real." And then Jeremy Lin left the CBA. He left the Lions, just recently, and they put out another one. And
that's China, or where's that?
Yeah, that's in China. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he played in Shanghai last year. He played in for the Long Lions this past year. I think he played like 6 or 7 games only for them this year.
Okay.
He got in trouble for saying something about the quarantine facilities. He actually got fined. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that was his decision to be like, yeah, forget it, I'm leaving. But he ended up leaving. Again, they put out that thing. Again, the Steelers said, no, he's not coming. And then all of a sudden, I didn't know about it till you texted me. Just like an hour after it happened, Jeremy Lin posted, Taiwan, here I come, and with a picture of him in his Steelers uniform. So
yeah, it's crazy because go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say it was just a whirlwind of events that led to this.
So I mean, obviously Jeremy Lin, is a popular, probably one of the better, Asian basketball players. Played NBA, right? Everybody knows about the whole Linsanity thing. But what do you think a player like that could bring to Taiwan or to the T1 league?
Well, I think we're seeing it right now with Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard's in the T1 league. Jeremy Lin's going to the P League, and one thing it brought ticket sales.
Of course,
I almost knew nobody who was watching the T1 league when Dwight Howard came, and then his first few games were just 15,000 seat arenas just sold out pretty quickly. And so I mean that's one thing that brings and it brings more marketability, of course, to the team, but also we have a lot of teams, a lot of players that don't have a lot of international playing experience.
Yeah.
We can see, unfortunately, the Leopards, where Dwight Howard is, they're still 1-11, I think. They've won 1 game so far.
That for me was a bit surprising, because I did catch a little bit, and I didn't know that until a lot of people brought that up, and I was like, oh wow, that's a surprise. Okay.
But you can see their team is getting better and better. Like they're playing better as a team. They're playing better. They are just a bunch of. Before they just seemed like a few good players who were just kind of putting up good numbers by themselves. But now you're starting to see the team actually work together, starting to create these plays that you normally didn't see in the beginning of.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
having that level of experience.
Yeah, I think it's going to. No, it cut off. I was like, oh, what's going on? No, I think, I think obviously with any sport, you can't just throw somebody in there and then all of a sudden it's going to gel, right? It's going to probably take a little bit of time, and hopefully, hopefully Dwight Howard is going to stick around for a while. I mean, do we know about that? I mean, I know a lot of people are really excited right now. For those of you that don't know, in Taiwan, he's like the darling of Taiwan. Everywhere he goes, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not a massive basketball fan, but I love that there's an athlete like that coming out, and seems like a really good guy, and he's doing cool things for Taiwan. He's doing cool things for Taiwan, putting sort of the T1 on the map and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, and he did even on his birthday, this charity auction raised $1 million NT for it.
Yeah, I think
school taught, worked with the kids with basketball, and everywhere he goes, he's just making this a big impact in Taiwan. It's not just the basketball court.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's really cool because he's like back in the day, like when there'd be like someone like Dennis Rodman, right? Like you probably remember that, right? Like we're similar in age, I think, right? For me,
Yes,
not
that's
being like
my era.
yeah, so like I'm not like a mad basketball guy, but I mean back in the day everybody knew about like of course Jordan and those guys, but someone like Dennis Rodman, but they kind of knew him for like even like who was it? Like I think Iverson was known as a bad boy as well, right? But like
Right.
somebody like Dennis Rodman coming out and kind of going against the norm, but then you see someone like Dwight Howard coming over to Taiwan and just being like just seems like a really good guy. Like I think it's great.
Yeah,
I think it's a good role model. Yeah.
and I definitely think he's one of the. I forget which one he's 10th or 12th in, but his system he's 10th in one of them and 12th in NBA. Total numbers as far as total numbers go in NBA history. So, 8-time All-Star, Olympic gold medalist. He's done it in basketball, so it's a great thing to have him here.
It's cool. Actually, on Netflix, they just released this sort of like a documentary on the last time the U.S. national team won the gold medal. Did you see that? That was so good, man. So good.
No, and I just got Netflix again, so I'm gonna have to watch that.
Well, apparently
they're
cracking down on shared accounts or something. People keep sharing like, oh my God, they're cracking down on it. I have no idea what's gonna happen with that, but yeah, Netflix is I'm not sure what's going on with those guys, but hopefully it's a great service. I like it.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and and if we look at really the excitement for Jeremy Lin, I'm wondering if this is going to be even more excitement than Dwight Howard, because he was huge back 2011 2012 with Linsanity. He blew up here in Taiwan, and even in America, like when he played in populations where there was a heavy Asian population, even if he wasn't on that team, he'd still get like ovations just whenever he came out on the court. So
Yeah,
and it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out if they both went to the last ranked team. So I think one of them's going to have to kind of raise the bar if they want to get more fan following.
agree.
Lately, so
Do you think like since Dwight Howard came out, all my Facebook friends, everybody on Facebook is just like boom, boom, boom. They're going to the game. They're going to the game. Have you seen any Dwight Howard live yet? And do you think that that will bring more? I mean, obviously now Jeremy Lin. Way back they were talking about Jeremy Lin, then it was off, and then it was on, then it was off, and it was on. But I've heard like other names thrown out there. Like a Carmelo Anthony. They're like, oh, this guy's coming for sure. That guy's coming for sure.
yeah.
Do you think it's kind of gonna lead to something like that? Hopefully.
I sure hope so. I hear the Steelers made an offer to Carmelo Anthony. I read that, but I guess it didn't go through.
But now they got Lin.
Interesting if they got both Carmelo Anthony and Jeremy Lin, get them back in the same game and the same team from when they played back then. But it'd be I would love to see more big name players come in. We've got some people that have played for the NBA and the NBA D League and things like that in the G League. It's just where whether or not they come, and I don't know if we have enough money in the basketball world for that right at this moment. So
I mean,
we'll have to see how that pans out.
They just finished the big stadium, right? Like the big egg, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's even called in English. In Chinese, the smaller one is the Xiaojudan or whatever, right? And then the big one is the Dajudan or whatever. So now it's like, I think it's finished, or it's almost finished. So I believe that there's more capacity for things like that. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully.
And the name of the game is all sponsorships. So I mean, even if you're not winning the game, companies will still want to associate with the most talked about team in the league for sure.
Exactly.
So,
I have a quick question about leagues, right? Like how many leagues are there here? Because I am a basketball fan. I'm not a hardcore guy that kind of knows everything, but I mean, how I didn't know about the pro leagues popping up. So how many leagues are there? If off the top of your head?
Well, the three main ones right now. There's the P League, which we talked about, and the T1 League. They each have 6 teams each. There's the SBL, which is a semi-pro league.
Okay.
And they only have 4 teams.
Okay.
And one of the bigger differences with the SBL, it's hard to get a lot of energy behind them because most of their branding for their teams are like wrapped up in like companies. like
Okay.
the Taiwan beer team and the bank team and stuff like that.
Okay.
So you aren't based on the central location where, here in Taichung, if you go to a Formosa Dreamers game, which is the Taichung game or the
Gotcha.
Taichung Suns game, you're going to get a lot of excitement for the Taichung team. But
Okay.
it's not quite the same in the SBL. So I think people tend to not follow it that much.
So right now, that's the semi-pro, right? And then you have the T1
Yeah.
and the P, and those are pro, right? Obviously,
Yes.
you've got the two big guys in there.
And before that,
two
we
of the
were part of
biggest.
the before that, there were the two teams that were part of the ABL. It's Asian Basketball Association, the Formosa Dreamers and the Taipei Fubon Braves.
Okay.
But when coronavirus came, they were traveling between different countries. So when coronavirus came, they couldn't do that anymore. So the P League started, and then the following year, the T1 League started. So
I mean, how does it
it's
work? Like somebody just says, I got some money, let's open a league, or how does that work? I mean, like, do you know about that?
I don't know about the exact business of it, but I guess that's pretty much how it works. And then, the different people or companies, they sponsor teams in the area. And I would love to know the exact details of how that works.
So would I, yeah. Would it be possible? I mean, obviously these are two different leagues, but the pro leagues, obviously people would want to know, would they do you think it'd be possible for the two leagues to kind of combine, or to just do something similar to like what is it, the MLB, right? Is it the baseball in the States, the American League, National League, put them together for sort of a World Series type deal? Do you think that something like that would be possible?
I would love that. I wonder if they're in too much competition with each other for that right now.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
I think long term. I mean, there's only 24 million people here in Taiwan. Only a certain amount of them are going to play basketball. Only a certain amount of them are going to be, good enough to play pro basketball. Only a certain amount of them are even young enough to play pro basketball. I think something's going to happen where I don't think long term. I don't think three leagues is going to quite cut it. And whether it's a merger, whether there's something else,
Yeah. Do you think it could be possible, like one gets more popular and maybe buys the other one out? Or I mean, like a UFC situation with like buying out Strike Force or something like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Anything's possible. WWF buying out everyone.
Remember when they bought out WCW?
Fans, right?
Oh, dude, I'm a huge WWF guy, actually. WWE. I thought that it was kind of cool, but it was nice to have, the Monday Nitro versus the Monday Night Raw. And when I was in college, this kind of dates me a little bit. When I was in college, we would have the two TVs, we'd watch them both. But when the NWO came around, I mean, it was all WCW, right?
They blew that out of the water.
That was
especially
amazing.
All the talent we knew from WWF was in WCW. So it's like
exactly. Yeah. So they brought all the fans, because previously, I had never really watched much WCW. We knew about who was there, like Lex Luger and
like Flair, Sting. You knew all those guys.
Yeah. We knew about them. We watched them a little bit, but then when like Hall and Nash went there, we were just like, yeah. And then when Hogan flipped, that was awesome.
Yeah,
that was beautiful.
And Brett flipped out in the ring.
Yeah, Brett. It was a good thing. I mean, do you remember that documentary, The Montreal Screwjob? Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Bret Hart
screwed Hart in itself.
Yeah.
Well, I even go back with my mom. I love telling this part of my life, but my mom was a nun and my dad was a priest.
Really?
Before they had me, of course.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. So you're a miracle of God.
They used to still go to Catholic church. Take us to Catholic church every day or every Sunday.
Yeah.
And we got to the point where we want to go home and watch wrestling because WCCW, World Class Championship Wrestling, was on Sunday. Nice. And we were like big Von Erich versus Freebird fans. Yeah.
Wow. Old school. I love it.
Old school.
Do you remember when what was it, like Glow or Glam or something like that? Women's wrestling.
Ladies of Wrestling.
Yeah.
I remember. I don't ever remember watching it, but
I watched it. I only remember the name Bertha Faye, and it was this massive lady who would just smash everyone. It was just such a when I can remember that now. I don't remember what she looks like, but it was just it's branding, I guess, right? If you got something memorable, you can remember it forever.
Exactly.
Awesome. That's awesome, brother. So Lynn Sanity, he's coming. How do you think that's going to affect sort of the P League? Do both leagues play kind of in the same stadiums? I know that there's not that many stadiums here.
They're in different stadiums.
Okay.
And so, yeah, but I I think it's, I think P League was kind of worried about T1 League this year. I don't have the inside information on this, of course. I'm just
Yeah, no,
speculating from what I'm watching
yeah, for
because
sure.
T1 just kind of T1 really took off, and T1's got a lot of really good teams and players, and put out good basketball. But I don't think anyone was watching until Dwight Howard came along, and so
Well, I
now I
think it's
think
the
people
best.
are seeing both, and
I think it's
and
the best marketing for them for
yeah,
basketball in Taiwan. You get, you pay the big money and you get the big player, and now everybody is a mad basketball fan in Taiwan, which is great.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I know baseball's huge here, but I've heard more of my students talk about basketball the last couple of years than baseball. So
Those are the
I think it
big
might
two for sure.
pass. Yeah, I think it might pass baseball.
I mean,
That's high hopes because it's huge here. But,
I remember
give it time.
back in the day, they had who this dude like Manny
One
Hernandez
Chen.
or something like that. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
there was a guy that came out that was, I'm bad with names. For sure that's not the right name. But this guy came out, and
I'm
yeah,
bad
he
with
came out
it.
for about a year. It was awesome. Yeah. It was cool. Again, not a huge baseball guy, but it
Right.
was really cool to have, to have that. And right now actually Tianmu has their own team, the Dragons, which is awesome because there's games on, and when the games are on, Tianmu's like bumping and stuff. It's really good. It's awesome, man. I love to see that in Tianmu. I love to
Yeah.
see that, anywhere. And it's really cool to be in walking distance from a baseball stadium.
Yeah, and great for your hey, come in and watch the game.
For sure, for sure.
By the way,
You
go
can
to
come
Eddy's
in and get some
Cantina
food.
if you haven't been.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, sponsored by Eddy's Cantina, right? So basically, yeah, no, I love it. I'm a big soccer guy, big sports guy. Of course, UFC is like probably my biggest love nowadays. But I'm really happy to see Jeremy Lin signing. And do you
Yeah,
think that, because like we were saying, Dwight Howard, he's like the darling of Taiwan right now. I mean, every time he goes
right.
out, it's news. So do you think that Lin, being Asian, will have a similar effect or maybe more? What do you think about that? Who would be more popular, Lin or Howard, in your
I have
opinion?
been arguing with one of my friends, and I gave her the link. I wonder if she's watching. She's a big Dwight Howard fan, and
Okay.
so she's like not as excited about Jeremy Lin coming, but she was like really excited about Dwight Howard coming in. I told her, I
Okay.
was like, I actually think she disagrees with me. She thinks it's the other way, but I think Jeremy Lin might be a little more popular than Dwight Howard. I
Yeah.
hope T1 still wants to give me a little bit of a job here and there if I keep saying that.
D-
Because I did the
let's
announcing
talk.
for T1 for a few games, but I mean,
Yeah.
like every time you mentioned anything about Jeremy Lin, combine the
Yeah.
two.
That's
Every
all
time
right.
you
Yeah.
mention something about Jeremy Lin,
Fusion. Ha.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be a
like when
good
he got his Taiwan passport a few years ago, everyone thought he was going to come right then. Anytime Jeremy Lin just pops up in the news, it's like, oh, everyone's just jumping on it. So
I
I'm
think
even
it's
wondering if
great.
he'll be more popular.
I think it's good because I mean, usually, I think, how can I say this without sounding weird? Like, so let's say if there's like, say, a Mexican guy, like I'm Mexican, so I can say it. So if there's a
Right.
Mexican guy who's like, he's killing it, playing soccer or something in Europe, he all of a sudden becomes like an idol, right? In Mexico,
Right.
it's like, oh, this is the guy. Canada's got hockey, right? So when there's a Canadian hockey guy who, Canada pretty much, I think, always wins the gold medal, I think. I mean, usually, but when Canada plays and they win the gold medal, everybody's like, yeah, these guys are heroes, right? So I think that when Lin comes here, he's Taiwanese descent, right? He's of Taiwanese descent, I believe,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So when he comes here, I think it's good for like the role model and stuff. And I think that people will see him and be like, hey, kind of like the feeling is like, oh, one of us made it, one of us made it to the
Yeah.
NBA. So hopefully that sentiment spreads in Taiwan. Yeah.
I think it will, and it goes back to the point I was starting to make earlier. But I think now the P League is, might be like a little bit higher again, and now the T1 League is going to have to look and see what they want to do. But
Yeah.
I think both put out really good, entertaining games. I haven't been to a boring game yet. So
I mean,
uh,
just an all-star game would be great. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
an all-star game, one league versus the other, just for fun, nothing crazy so nobody gets injured. Something like that. I bet, of course, that would sell out, right?
Yeah.
And
the T1's doing their own all-star league weekend. They're going to have a slam dunk contest, a 3-point contest, and an all-star
awesome.
game. So
I would love
but
to
it's
watch
not-
that. Yeah, I would love to watch that.
February 28th in Taipei.
Oh, shoot. Okay. I believe I will be, speaking of commentating, I believe that's the weekend of the WOTD, which is kind of like, the MMA, the biggest MMA sort of organization out here.
Right.
I've been talking to them for a while, trying to push to get English commentary. And I told them, I will come to do the English commentary and stuff. So I believe that that's the weekend. That's the same weekend. So I think that's still, being worked on, but hopefully, man, that'd be great. It's like bucket list for me. Commentary. Actually, when people always ask, the dream job and stuff, my dream job is ring announcer. You know what I mean? Like the WWE ring announcer, UFC ring announcer. I would do that.
The next Howard Finkel of Taiwan.
Yeah, I would. Accompanied by Paul Bearer. You know what I mean? Like, I love that as a kid.
World Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion.
I love it. That would be, that's the dream. That's the dream job for me. So obviously, commentating is also a big one for me. So hopefully that's going to be the English commentary, would be me, and obviously two people that actually know what they're talking about. Yeah. So because obviously I'm not, I'm not a big fighter. I'm just a fan. So of course, color commentary. But yeah, so they're still working on that. Hopefully I'll be able to announce that. Yeah, big fan. But cool. Speaking of commentary, you were commentary.
I did 3 games. I did 3 games for the T1 League. I'm the only person I know who commentated for a game for that Dwight Howard played. So hey, even if I never do another one again, I'm happy with that.
You should tell us that how did that experience happen? Right? What is this? Yeah, sorry, with insanity. Yeah.
I mean, I've been a Taiwan basketball fan for a long time. It started when I became friends with the coach for the Formosa Dreamers years ago.
Okay.
When I just met him in Changhua one day, he's just like, there's a basketball team in Changhua? Back then they were in Changhua.
Okay.
But he and I followed him for years and kept up with him and always been in the social media posts and everything and involved in that. Well, one of there was a post posted on Facebook. They were looking for a commentator for the T1 League.
I saw that.
And I'm like,
I saw that.
I was the first one to reply.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, oh, that's such a great opportunity, but I don't know enough about basketball, right? So I was like, this is going to be so cool. I wonder who's going to get that, and you got it.
Yeah.
Congrats on that.
Well, I got it. And I basically messaged, after he's like, the T1 League wants to talk to you, and I didn't hear anything. I messaged him a couple weeks later. I was like, hey, what's going on with this? Nothing. And then they still want to talk to you, and still haven't heard anything. But then I got then I saw Charlie Parker, who's the coach for the national team. He was doing the commentary with Taylor. Taylor's still doing the commentary. She's fantastic.
Yes.
That's
so good. So good. Yeah.
But I was like, oh, well, there's no way I can compete with the guy. I compete with the guy who's the national team coach, He knows way more than I do. But he was just doing it for 2 games. So I'm sitting there on Thursday. I have to do my communication books for school, and my phone goes off, and it's like, hey, this is this is from the T1 League. We want to wonder if you could do a game this weekend. And I'm like, I don't even know the teams yet, But I'm like, if I don't jump at this right now, I'm gonna lose it, So I went ahead, said yes. Went down to Kaohsiung. I tried to learn as much as I could in 2 days on these guys. Everything's in Chinese, so you can't even listen to the commentary of these teams beforehand.
I think it's a really big, let me just jump in there really quick. I think it's a really big point, because I know a lot of people, sometimes in life, you're not going to be ready for stuff. And I've always thought, you know what, I usually will just say yes. Pretty much I'll always say yes, and then I'll just figure it out. And that sounds like that's what you did. You're just like, yep, I'm in.
Yeah, it was just like, it's either now or never, And I was just like,
yeah,
let's
never. Yes. Be mine.
And I messaged him a few days after the thing. I was just like, hey, just wondering because I needed a new laptop anyway. So I'm like, I might as well get one because the one I have is like too slow to like look up statistics during the game and stuff. It's horrible.
Are you using
It's
the new
always
one now?
crashing.
Are you using
Yeah, I'm
that right
using the
now?
new one now. Yeah.
Nice. What'd you get? If you don't mind, I'm a little bit of
Just
a tech guy.
like I literally just bought like a cheap thing that just
Okay,
works.
okay.
Like I just need an
No,
internet connection, something to type
all right,
on, and that's it. You know.
that's cool.
Um,
No, it's
so
funny.
it's
I
just
mean,
some $10,000 ASUS thing. So
no, it's funny because I mean, I, like when people come, when you physically come here and do the podcast with me, usually people are really like even like big YouTubers and like 500,000 subscriber guys and stuff. They're kind of blown away with the podcast setup I have, and the reason is it's a small podcast, obviously, but the reason is because I don't really have a car. I don't care about cars. You know what I mean?
right.
Like I've got like my scooter. It's like 15-year-old scooter. I don't really, I mean, I like to eat out. I like to take the family out and do stuff like that, but I don't really, smoke or do too many drugs. I own a bar, so I don't really have to pay for beer.
Too
So
many drugs. I like that admission there.
you know what I mean? I don't do drugs. I don't smoke.
Yeah.
I don't do any of that stuff. I don't really waste, we're not super rich or we're not rich or anything, but I mean, this is the stuff that I like. So if there's like a cool, like a microphone or something, so that, slowly, and it's been over 3.5 years or so. So I think, I didn't buy everything
Build
at
up
the
over
same
time.
time.
Yeah.
So it's just like piece by piece, you buy these things and you figure out how to use them. If somebody were to give me all that stuff at the beginning and just dump that on my desk, I'd be like, holy crap, what is this? But now,
Right.
you add a piece and then 2 months later you add another piece, and it's pretty cool. So that's kind of what I like. That's kind of what I like to buy and what I like to do. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I'm a little bit of a tech guy, I think.
There you go. Well, I was just watching Gran Torino yesterday. Great movie.
Oh yeah, is that
And
what's his name? Clint Eastwood? Is that
Clint
the one?
Eastwood, yeah. And
That's a
the
great.
kid's like, how'd you get all this stuff? He's like, well, you could imagine that one doesn't just go out and buy this, one thing. It's like acquired over a 30-year period.
Yeah, I love that.
So,
That's exactly it, man. That's perfect because yeah, it's been about 3.5 years. I started with some old karaoke mics and a GoPro Hero 5, which kept turning off, which was pretty bad.
wow.
It's just like,
Man, for a
all of a sudden,
podcast.
you keep it plugged in and, it's fine. And you look at it, you test it, it works fine. Then in the middle of a podcast, you hear that beep, 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 beep. And then I look over and it's just like, boom, no signal. And I'm like chatting. The guest is chatting. And I'm just like, oh, shit, don't freak out. I'm like, okay, yeah. Oh, really? Cool. Let me just slip a battery in there and you keep going. So those are still up there. The cool thing about the podcast is it's just live. I mean, mistakes are going to happen. And the channel would probably grow a lot faster if I were to go and edit like a whole bunch of videos. But I mean, I'm also a super busy guy, right? Like I've got the family, I've got the business, and I've got a whole bunch of other things that I love to do. And the podcast is something that is growing, and I love doing it. But yeah, I think it's pretty raw. Yeah, but it's what I'm like. Big Rogan fan. I get the idea from just Rogan being awesome. Yeah, that's it.
Well,
That's really it.
I think it's perfect for Taiwan. I don't think you need anything really fancy for. I mean, I wouldn't mind a fancy thing, but it's.
Yeah.
All we need is like we just need someone to be able some way to be able to like share those stories. So
yeah, for sure. I mean,
that's
there's
perfect.
the thing about a podcast, I mean, or any sort of a YouTube channel. I mean, a lot of people will start. I've seen so many podcasts start before and after mine, and most of them are they just stop, right? Because people, when they start, they have the idea that I'm going to start it. I'm going to get a couple big guests or whatever. And it's going to be, 100,000 subscribers in 6 months or something. And it's crazy. It's crazy because it's long form. It's different. And I think it's a pretty like Western thing. If I go through my analytics, of course, most people are in Taiwan, right? But I get a lot from the States, a lot from Europe and stuff like that. So it's a pretty cool thing. I think it's kind of new to Taiwan.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the normal go around to the temple and do a weird dance and get famous type of thing.
I mean,
not that I'm saying anything's wrong with that. But
yeah, no, but I mean, there's a lot of, like a lot of channels that blow up and a lot of people are doing similar things and stuff like that. But I think the podcast is more about just kind of, sharing some cool stories and stuff. Like I thought that it was really cool that you got to do the commentary. That's got to be like a bucket list dream thing, no?
Yeah, I'd love to do it again. Yeah, the biggest criticism I got was, I don't know the teams as well, and there's still technical things. Like I was color commentator, and sometimes I'd go ahead and do the play-by-play, and my Ryan Chen, who does the P League, I sent him a clip, and he gave me a bunch of tips. That was one of them. He's like, let Taylor do the play-by-play, you take over the color, and things like that. So I got some tips from people who have done it for a while, and I'm looking forward to another chance to do it again. I think if they ask, like, hey, do you want to do it again this year? Or I'd be like, do you want me to wait till next year? Like, if you really want me this year, okay, but
Yeah.
give me
Yeah.
that year to actually figure out the players and really know them by just looking at them instead of thinking, okay, that's 8. Remember, recuperate. That's Cooper. That's how I
Yeah.
like actually have these, some certain things of
My
7
brain is
Allen.
the
I get like always open 7 Allen. Like I have these
same.
things in my head for certain teams.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's funny
So
because that's how I make, like, I've been here for about 20 years, right? And I speak reasonable Mandarin, I think. And that's the way that I learn things, like I studied, I think, like Bopamofo 15 or 18 years ago or something. That obviously I forgot all that, but like that's how I learn, just like really weird things
yeah.
that happen. My brain is, something's wrong with it, I think.
I remember like learning
Yeah.
Spanish. I'd be like, stupid phrases like "Todas las vacas viven en el autobús." Like all the cows live in the
Yes,
bus.
they live
It
in a
doesn't
bus.
make any sense, but it's like it just like it.
I
Now I
can
remember
remember.
cows and bus for my test.
That's funny. No, it's funny because that I think language, when I came here, they everybody's like, oh, you speak English and Spanish. I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, you'll pick up the third language pretty easily. And then I try to learn Chinese. I'm like, yeah, English and Spanish, they don't help at all for
No,
Chinese. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
the biggest thing I found was I could read my Spanish, and so and when I did Latin, I could read the Latin. So it
Yeah.
was a huge difference when you come to Chinese.
Exactly. Yeah. Quick question here.
Yeah.
Let me pull that up. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Boom. The P League versus the T1 League. Do you know, like, popularity wise? I mean, what are you thinking?
I think P League was much more popular, definitely last year.
Mhm.
I'm gonna guess that T1 just surpassed them. I don't have any
Of
hard
course.
data, but if they're selling out 15,000 seat stadiums in Kaohsiung and
That's amazing.
Taoyuan, it's
I love that.
that's amazing.
I love to hear that.
So
And yeah, I love to hear that. And I mean, I don't know, how do you think that sort of Taiwan basketball differs, obviously, from NBA is the king, right? But
right.
how would these leagues sort of compare to Taiwan? As being
Well, I
a
mean,
American guy who knows it, right?
you're not going to compete with the NBA.
Of course,
Of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
yeah. Well, their
I don't
styles
think
are also
anyone expects
different.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's NBA is turning towards a lot more 3-point shots and everything. It's getting out. That's why you got Steph Curry. That's why
Oh,
you
that
don't
kid's
have
a
the
monster.
large guys like Dwight. The tall guys like Dwight Howard is popular anymore. They aren't.
Mhm.
They are going for those 2 points and the defense and everything. The under the basket and things like that. They're going for a lot more shots outside the perimeter, outside the 3-point line. So Taiwan still has a lot. Taiwan's starting to go that way with a lot of their teams. Like
Okay.
not as Dreamers have been doing that the past few years and hasn't quite worked out as well this year. So we'll see what they go for. But um, I, I I think you're still going to see a lot of those plays where you are getting the Ghost Hawks just got 3 giants on their team, all over 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
of their imports, and so you're still going to see those teams that are playing the big guys in the paint and getting those 2-point shots.
I remember back in the day when I used to watch a lot of basketball, like David Robinson and Hakeem Olajuwon and
Yep.
Patrick Ewing and stuff like that. That was awesome. I love the big guys, and
Yeah.
it's cool because when you see these big guys in life, they're just massive, like just
Yeah.
they're larger than life. It's a really cool feeling. I actually went to watch when I was in college. This dates me. We had the Vancouver Grizzlies still,
All right.
back in the day. And the girl that I was dating at the time, she was a big Houston Rockets fan. Right. And so I took her as one of her birthday gifts or something. We were not too far from Vancouver. We're on Vancouver Island. So we went to a Grizzlies game, and it was Grizzlies versus the Rockets. And at that time, they had Olajuwon, Pippen, Scottie Pippen, and Charles Barkley, right? So obviously they
Legends.
won. Obviously they won, right? And we were just cheering. And it was crazy because it was really, even at the time, not being a big basketball guy, live sports they're amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It was an amazing experience. I think that the funny thing was this girl was, she was, how can I say it? She was kind of like a hillbilly, like a hillbilly style. You know what I mean? And I don't say that in a bad way. I'm just saying like she would, we were all decked out in Rockets gear in Vancouver, and no, everybody was in Grizzlies gear. So of course everybody's kind of looking at us like, what the hell, right? And then, obviously the Rockets were crushing the Grizzlies, right? So she would just look, yeah, fuck you, Grizzlies, you know what I mean? And then everybody's staring at us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, you need to bring it down a little notch here, because guess who's going to get punched in the face? Not you. It's going to be me. So take it easy, And she was just like, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah. This girl used to, when we'd get ready to go out to the bar, she used to drink, basically she would have this shelf in the shower, and she would have Crown Royal there, and she would just kind of be like straight from, she was crazy, man. It was great. That's kind of like another topic, but it was a crazy situation. It was a lot of fun, but it was a bit of a crazy situation for sure. It's probably off topic.
My brother went to the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, what? Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, well, not this year, obviously. Last year, the Bengals,
with like Dr. Dre and those guys, yeah, with Dr. Dre and halftime show.
Yeah, he was like, I was like, best halftime show ever. He's like, yeah. I was like, you get to see it live. He's like, yeah. It's like,
that's so cool. I mean,
but he was, there he is in his like Cincinnati outfit, and so, of course, since they lost, he's like, I'm kind of glad they lost, because walking back to the car, it was like you weren't walking through like the best neighborhood. You didn't want anything happening.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The last time I went to Mexico, we went to watch a local, the two local teams in a stadium, and it was funny because my uncle is really connected. And so he was connected to the coach of one of the pro teams, and they gave us, tickets in like the family seats for like that team. Right. So there was like 5 of us. Right. One of my cousins came with us, and this guy, he's loud and he's like obnoxious, my cousin. And like, he was getting, in Mexico, they serve beer everywhere. I think they serve beer in the stadiums aside from Taiwan, but he was drinking beer. Right. And then he was heckling the team that we were there supposed to be supporting, right? So he was heckling them, and he was like swearing at him, and he was cheering for the other team. Meanwhile, the coach's wife is sitting with us, right? And he's like screaming like the coach is bullshit, and like this team, and he's screaming. And I'm like, hey, do you know that the coach got us these seats? And he's like so drunk he doesn't care. He's screaming, right?
Yeah.
So it was crazy, man. It was a crazy situation. My wife was blown away because my cousin was so loud. He's so loud that the stadium, like, there's always that loud guy that gets the chants going. Like, he's so loud, the whole stadium hears him, and then they start to chant with him. This is my cousin. Like, it's crazy how loud he was. It was unbelievable. And we were in like the seats of the team, that he was cheering against. It was crazy.
Yeah.
We're like, with the
like, don't invite Eddy anymore.
And I'm just like, oh yeah. And I'm like, hey man, you need to shut the heck up. So anyways, the point of this
more often.
The point of the story was I've been living in Taiwan for, at that time, like 15 years, now like 20. And we didn't live very far. My family didn't live very far from the stadium. And it was like 8 p.m., outside the stadium, we had tacos and stuff like that, birria and stuff like that. So we ate, and I was like, oh, I ate too much. So I said, okay, well, I got my Google map, we're going to walk home. Right. And my uncle's like, what? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's just this way, 10-minute walk. Right. And he's like, you are not walking home. Do you know where you are? I'm like, yeah. I'm just like, oh shoot, I forgot, because I'm in Taiwan, and I think I'm just going to walk it off, and there he's just like, dude, you're walking through like the ghetto. Like, it's like, are you nuts? I'm like, yeah, shoot, I forgot about that. You forget stuff like that. And my wife, of course, had no idea. Yeah. Crazy.
Why are you paying for an Uber? Just trust me on this. Just trust me on this.
They're just like, what? Yeah. So, let's speaking of some of the import players, right? Some of the expat players, the foreign players in Taiwan. Let's roll through a little rapid fire. Cool. Like I'll pull up a name. I'll try to pronounce it. Yeah, you say something about it.
There's some on there that really
some of the ones yes, I'll try my best to pronounce. I apologize in advance if I butcher. All right, here we go. Boom. Oh, that's an easy one. Brandon Dawson. Well, tell me a little bit about that.
Really good. Really good guy. I think he's averaging like 20 points per game, 11 rebounds, something like that. So, really solid player for the Hero Bears there. I think
Beauty.
Great guy to have around.
Excellent. Boom. Oh, I can't even say that one. Can you say it? Can you pronounce it? Berha. I don't know. Sorry, dude.
Michael Efferberha. You know what? His nickname FIBA.
Okay. There you go. Perfect.
He plays for the Leopards also. He's one of the highest scorers on the team.
Beauty. Okay.
Amazing 3-point shooter. Great when you're in a pinch, but just needs to come up with some wins, man. If he wants to, be considered one of the better ones,
That's tough. Michael Efferberha. Okay, Berha. Yeah. How do you say it? Efferberha. Efferberha.
If I saw it in front of me, I could say it, but
sorry, you can't see it. My bad, dude. I thought you could see it.
We all call him FIBA.
Okay. I thought you could see it. My bad. Okay. Well, now I know.
Efferberha. Yeah.
So next one is Jason Brickman.
My favorite. Yeah, absolutely my favorite player in the league.
Between
the two leagues. He in an NCAA career, he's only one of 4 players to score over 1,000 assists.
Oh wow.
He was one of my favorites in the ABL, also the league we talked about before. He played in that, and he's getting doubles in almost every game. For those of you that don't know basketball, like double means he scored double digits in at least two statistics. So either in points or steals or assists or blocks. He's always rebounds. He's always getting the assists and scoring one. And he's gotten at least one triple double I could think of off the top of my head. So, guys,
that's cool because actually, I didn't know what a double. I didn't even know what a double or a triple double was. So the triple double.
Yeah, triple double is when you get 3 of them in the 3 doubles.
Like for example, like scoring, rebounds, and what? I have no idea.
Yeah, and assists or scoring blocks and rebounds or steals. Generally not fouls. Well, no, you can't get doubles and fouls because you've been thrown out. But not turnovers. That wouldn't be a good thing to get.
When I hear the term triple double, it reminds me of that old Ice Cube song. That one last week walked around and got a triple double. That's what it reminds me of. Ridiculous.
Well, I was doing an announcing for a game, and it was a game after he just got a triple double.
Oh, beauty. Okay.
Taylor was like, he got a triple, and she almost said triple. She caught herself, and I'm like, that would have changed the entire game. Like if we got 3, we got 100 points or more, 100 rebounds and 100 assists. But
wow, amazing. Triple. Wow. Okay.
She said it wrong. She didn't actually say it wrong, but I could tell like it's almost coming out of her mouth. I'm sorry, Taylor, if you ever catch this.
That reminds me of another story, but I'll probably keep that one for off camera in a sec here. But yeah,
right.
Just
private chat button work.
Ed Zilionis. Ed Zilionis.
By the way, hi to everyone who's saying hi to us.
Yes, thank you guys. Sorry, I'm really. I have this. So what I usually use this a different streaming software, but because we're doing remote, I'm back to this one, which is great software. It's just I'm juggling things here. My other computer just crashed like 2 minutes before I did this, so I'm juggling. Appreciate you guys. Let me know if you how the audio is, how the video is. I hope it's good. And actually, next week we've got a really cool setup coming for next week. So hopefully my computer doesn't crash 2 minutes before. And actually the funny thing is at the restaurant, I have like a much older setup that never has any issues. Well, it did last week, but then I had to wipe it. And anyways, thank you guys for checking it out. Appreciate it. Let's go back to the rapid. Ed Zilionis.
You said Zilionis. He excellent team for New Taipei this year in the T1. Excellent player, I should say. He's one of the shorter centers in the team. He's supposed to be the tall guy on the team, and he's rocking it this year. Someone just messaged me a bunch of questions I could answer about him for an article, but I'll have to see if that's posted anywhere.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. That sounds like a Greek name. No, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't want to butcher anything. It sounds cool anyway. Clean Anthony Early.
He should have
Is that
known.
right?
He was in the highlight reels for the longest time. He
Okay.
got a toe injury. This is a weird story. He got a toe injury. Said he couldn't play a game, but he could play in the game. Apparently, this is according to the team. He could play in the game if they upped his contract and gave him more money. So they got rid of him. But he was on fire for the Hero Bears. Tough loss for them, but I don't think any team's going to put up with that type of thing.
That's a little Francis Ngannou-esque there. It sounds like, yeah. But this guy, I know this guy. Next guy, Sim Buller. That guy looks massive, even on screen.
That guy's huge. Yes, he's one of the only first Indian player to play in the NBA. By Indian, I mean the country. But yeah, he's 7'5", I think 300 something pounds. He's gigantic.
I love it.
He had the most points scored in either of the leagues with I think 50 something. When he was with the Shinju Lioneers, he moved to the Ghost Hawks. They have 3 Giants now.
Oh damn. Okay.
Him and Sam Dagara.
That's the next name.
7.
That's the next name. Sam Dagara. Sam Dagara. That's the next name on the list.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite players when he first started, and he was always wearing himself down. And that's the thing with those 2 Giants, Sam Dagara and Sim Buller. I mean, they started off just, you'd see them at the end, halfway through the game, and they're just winded, and they can't play the second half very well. And
do they alternate as being 2 Giants, or do they put them on at the same time and they just dominate the boards, or how does that work usually? Strategy.
Well, it works differently in the 2 leagues. In the T1 league, in the P League, you can only have 2 import players play. You can only have 2 import players on your roster.
Gotcha. Okay.
For the first 3 quarters, you can play both. The 4th quarter, you can switch them out and play them only one at a time. With T1,
so there's special rules there. Okay.
T1, you can have 3 import players on your roster, and 2 can play at a time, anytime. So it's a lot better this time. And
what do you think the point is of that?
It's to get more exposure to the local players and get them playing more and more focus on them. When they were in the ABL, a lot of people complained that like the Formosa Dreamers, they went from last place in their first season to first place in the second season, and one of the complaints from fans was just but they don't play the Taiwanese players enough, because you could play all 3 import players the entire game in the Asian Basketball League. So I think when the P League started, they set up those rules just to really highlight the Taiwanese players.
Well, I think that's cool. I think that's a good thing. I think so too. Yeah. But I mean, it depends. I mean, you want to win. I mean, you could just bring all import players. I don't know what the mindset is. Like, are we building the league to build our own players or are we just building to win? I mean, I guess it's a different thought process, right?
Yeah, and even in the international FIBA rules, they have the difference between import players and local players, and so it really is just to keep the import players, the local players, to get them to be the focus of the game.
I mean, that's cool. That makes sense.
Of course, everyone still knows the import players a lot more, so it's even the Taiwan players, even the Taiwan fans.
Well, let's bang out the last few here. Hold on, let me pop up the next one. Aaron Jeremimpur.
Jeremimpur.
Okay.
I ran into him. He's a big 7-foot tall guy. I thought I was in a restaurant, saw him walking over there, and I thought it was a different player who I actually know. So who knows me too. Walked up to him to say hi, and I was like, it was him, and I was like, he was way more massive than I remembered. But he's with the Taichung Suns. He's been pretty much the face of the Taichung Suns.
Nice.
A lot of their advertising and stuff, and he's really solid player, really big guy, loves to dunk, doesn't have to jump very high to do it.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. The dunks. I remember in high school, just trying to touch the rim, and people are like, wait a minute, you're 6'2", you should be able to dunk it. I'm like, yeah, but whoops. I'm not. Yeah, I can't do it. Sorry, still can't. Probably can't jump half as high now, but yeah.
I'm better at free throws.
Well, yeah, yeah, for sure. I guess, yeah, we probably all are now. Yeah. Brendan Gilbeck. Last two. We're down to
He's okay. He's playing for the Dreamers. He just got 100 blocks
oh, nice.
this year for I mean not for the year, but just total. But that's in 2 years, and the
Okay.
season's still going on. So I mean, he's a defensive king. I sometimes type I type up my reports. I call him Brendan Gilblock instead of Brendan Gilbeck because
Oh, I
he's
like that. That sounds good. Yeah, he probably likes
I think
that
he's
too.
averaging 2 something per game. He's really solid.
Really?
So
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Damn. All right. Last one. Will Artino.
Will Artino? Yeah, he's been one of my favorites. He played for the Dreamers a few years ago. Got to hang out with him in a bar when him and the
wow.
coach were flying out. Yeah. There's a picture of us. It's the coach. He's right about my height. The bartender who's a little bit shorter. Will Artino's girlfriend at the time. I think they're married now, and then she's shorter than she's short as well, and then me, who's 6'1", and I'm standing next to Will Artino. I got my arm up on his shoulder like this.
Really? Like, hey.
Yeah, 211 centimeters. 6'11".
Damn.
But he's one of the nicest guys. He's also he also plays for the national team now. He's the one, if you follow it was controversial with the foreign community because he got his Taiwanese citizenship without giving up his American citizenship. Yeah, a lot of foreigners didn't like that, but I'm like, well, that's not his fault, And
he got to keep them, or what? How did that go?
Yeah,
he got to keep both. I mean,
yeah.
People, I don't know.
I
People
wish it would. I wish the same thing, but
Yeah, I mean, people. I mean,
I'm happy for him.
I've been here for 20 years. I would like to have dual. I can't, but maybe someday. I mean, I don't care that much. I have my APRC. It doesn't. Yeah, it is what it is, right? I mean, I'm also not a pro basketball player, so
Yeah,
it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Yeah. Awesome, bro. Let me pull up a couple of the pictures here, and you can tell me a little bit of what's going on. A little bit back to this guy right here, which is obviously not Will Artino.
That's not Jeremy Lin.
It's me.
That is.
I'm not
that's Dwight Howard, and I pulled it up just because of like how ripped he is, and he's still in that great shape. He's 37 years old, something like that, 38 years old, still in that great shape, and just he had a leg injury which put him out of commission for a little while this year, but.
I heard a lot of people complained about that. Yeah, which is like, what?
There was one game. It's the game I was announcing where the stadium started booing him. It started booing, because he was like, he wasn't coming off the bench, and they were expecting him. So that was a hard weekend because they had
awkward. This could be awkward for him. That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they had 3 games back: a Friday night game, a Saturday game, and a Sunday game. So it's like.
Yeah, come on.
Who came up with that schedule?
Well, oh my gosh. I mean, I coached here for a long time. It shouldn't happen in the pros, but weird stuff does happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is obviously him in his leopard uniform, right?
I mean, there he is in his leopard uniform. Yeah.
Any idea what the sales numbers are now for those uniforms? It must be like merch sales are probably like through the roof. Yeah.
They're huge. I mean, I went to the gift shop there at the stadium and tried to buy it's like, do you have this? And it'd be like the last one of something that I wanted to buy. They even if they lose, they're still selling those things out.
Yeah. I mean, this guy, he's great, right? I remember his when he did the dunk contest, right?
He had the Superman costume on.
Cool. That was awesome. I remember that. I think it was his rookie year.
First dunk,
cool.
Yeah, his first he got 10 out of 10. Like he got 50 points, which is the highest you get for all 3 dunks. His first one, he threw it off the back of the backboard, like jumped up, grabbed it, and just like slammed it right in. Like
I remember those days, man. That was awesome. Beautiful stuff. So again, let me pull up the next picture here. Boom. New signing for the Steelers, right?
There it is. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We got a lag here, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was like, you're like, boom, and I'm like, okay, I hope you're right.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that's there he is, man. He's going to take number 7. I think, number 7 for the team. I can't think of his name right now. I think they're changing his number to like 77 or something. I'd have to look up his name a little bit later, but yeah. So,
but I mean, it's huge news. I mean, I think that Jeremy Lin is going to be massive for Taiwan. I really hope that they can. I mean, it's obviously not up to me, but if they can work out a way to get a little bit of a little all-star sort of deal going on. That'd be great. Get the two leagues playing together. Maybe not competing so much because they both have a lot to lose. For the loser, that's the bragging rights and stuff. So
you don't want to be the team that doesn't win in that.
Yeah. So I can understand that. But I mean, if there's a way, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Yeah. Because the team that loses, then people are like, oh, that's the inferior league. Yeah.
Well, maybe combine the leagues, combine the leagues on the team, even. So it's not about which one's better. It's just
that'd be fun. That'd be good. Yeah. One more. This was back in the day, right? When Linsanity was like, I've been here for a long time, so I was here for that. A little bit about Linsanity action, right? What does it mean to you when you hear Linsanity?
Well, right before that game, let's see, that was 2012, but when the Linsanity started, but on December 31st, 2011, they were playing the Sacramento Kings. And within less than 4 minutes, Jeremy Lin got 2 turnovers, 4 fouls, and missed his only shot. So, that's in less than 4 minutes. This is,
That's tough. So, and that picture, he's like,
so then he was
Kobe in there. Kobe. Yeah.
Well, then he was going up, February 4th. They were going up against the New Jersey Nets and just came in with 3 minutes, 30 seconds left or so in the first quarter and just ended up getting, the 99-92 win. He got I got the stats right here. I think it was 25 points, 7 assists in that game and just took off and he just kept going for a little while. So I just remember how this one guy who you didn't want on your team and, kind of got pushed around. He didn't get drafted because he was too small. Just went from that to, this superstar overnight.
Crazy,
and he couldn't believe it either. He said his phone was going off.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. I think I hope he's gonna. Well, he is coming, right? Obviously, so hopefully, it's gonna bump the league up a little bit more, and we'll get some more things. I mean, similar to the MLS, right? The MLS in the States, obviously. So the MLS is massive, and usually players will go there and kind of finish out sort of the end of their career. They make some good money. They fill up stadiums because they're big popular guys. I think that if Taiwan could be something like that, that would be phenomenal. I'd love it.
Exactly.
I'm hoping that's the goal. Yeah, I think that's the goal. Hopefully, Jeremy Lin. Yeah, welcome to Taiwan, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Welcome. Hopefully, he's watching right now.
Yeah. I'm sure he's. I'm
sure if you are, Jeremy, call me. I'll get you on this show.
Get us the show. Yeah, we got to get him on. We got to get him on for sure. That'd be fantastic. I wanted to ask you one more. So, do you have any tips for aspiring broadcasters? Somebody who wants to do something like color commentary, broadcasting, something like that.
I lucked into it, and I learned a lot. First off, it's not as easy as it looks.
Oh, for sure. It
looks amazingly easy, but it's incredibly harder than it sounds. I think I learned a few things. One is I have to, really know what I'm commentating on. I know basketball somewhat well, but I've always watched it as a fan. Now I'm going back. I'm learning. I'm watching videos on defensive strategy and different types of offenses that basketball teams use and stuff like that, and trying to rewatch those videos and look out for those things. What do you think
makes a good color commentator? What's a good one?
I think adding something. Well, I think being a little bit. I'll say this. I think what I could do. I think what I did fairly well was I brought the excitement to the home audience.
Okay.
I think especially as a color commentator, if the fans are getting excited, you got to get excited. You got to let that go through your voice. It's not just keeping up with the numbers or adding a little bit of commentary on what's going on differently in the strategy. I think it's really bringing the excitement of the game into the into the household. And I'm saying that as someone who's done it 3 times. So
no, for sure, dude.
Expert. But that's what I was always going for.
Quickly, hopefully there will be an MMA sort of event, WOTD, We're going to start promoting this, but I hopefully we'll get a chance to do what you did with basketball. And again, like, I'm not a pro fighter or anything, and I just want to do it because it's a bucket list thing, and I love the sport, and I would just love to. I actually know Kai Wu pretty well, and I know Miss Red here, and I think it's going to be great. I know the fighters and stuff, so I think I'm excited to do it. Hopefully, it'll. Like, I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous about it because, but we have a few people that will be in there that will kind of actually know what they're talking about. So I will be the color guy.
Right.
And when I think of color, like, do you remember that old game, NBA Jam? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's what I think of. Like, boom, he's on fire.
Shakalaka.
Ooh, shakalaka. Like, he's heating up, so that's what I remember.
Yeah.
So that would be cool if I can kind of, be that, be something similar to that. That's what I'm going for. And we watch UFC at the restaurant all the time. And so that's the plan for me. So hopefully I'll have to hit you up for some tips if this thing happens. But if it does happen,
I'm looking forward to watching it. So I can't wait to see it.
I'm a big fan of the fights and stuff. I don't know if you've checked out Dana's Power Slap League, anything like that. That's kind of something crazy that's popped up. I thought it was, I wasn't interested, but I was bored the other day and I put a couple of videos of it on. I'm into it, man. I'll watch it. You know what I mean? Like, shoot, it's entertaining, right? I'm interested. Why not?
That's like this one where they like smack each other as hard as they can.
Like, bam! I mean, there's like these crazy KOs, and it's crazy. I mean, would I do it? No, of course not. But will I watch it? Yeah, probably. I mean, and then it is what it is. But yeah, that's it, bro. That's it. Yeah. But
All
brother,
right.
what are you thinking? Do you have anything that you think that we've missed?
I think we did a pretty good overview of everything. I'm excited about him coming here, and it's going to be exciting to see what goes on. So,
I'm excited to Jeremy Lin come to Taiwan. I guess he'll be living in Kaohsiung, right? I mean, if he's on the Steelers down there,
probably.
That's really cool for Kaohsiung. I would love to catch a game. So let me know. Maybe we'll catch a game down where you're at or something, and maybe we'll do a little a live sort of stream pod or something. It'd be fun. Check it out.
There you go.
Why not? Let's figure it out. Yeah, I got it.
We should do one when he's playing his brother, because his brother's playing in New Taipei right now, Joseph Lin. So
I didn't even know that, man. I didn't even know that. Yeah, well, let me know. That's cool. Let me know when that is, and obviously the closer north the better for me. But I can travel.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can travel. Yeah, cool, man. Well, appreciate it. Thank you for coming on and doing this, and hopefully in the next few months we'll get you in person, and we'll actually get to feed you. Yeah, it turned out great, man.
I want those wings.
Yeah, man, come and get some free eats. Like, damn, right? Yeah. Thank you guys for watching the show. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. Is there anything you want to add before we cut it? What do you think?
No. I was going to root for my favorite team, but I don't want to give that away. That'd be unfair to everybody. So go Taiwan basketball. I'll just make it generic.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, you can whatever you want to do, brother. Appreciate it. Hopefully we'll catch a game with you in the next few months, and let's keep in touch, brother. Take care, guys. We'll see you guys next week, regular time, 7 p.m. on a Tuesday night. We got kind of a special show for you guys next week. It's going to be cool. Every show is obviously special. This one we were trying to do it in person, but it is what it is. That's life. But we did it anyway. Yes. Catch you guys next week. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Eddie.